Will Ja Morant be on the 2028 United States men's national team?
Listen, there's a couple of things that are worth noting here. I think the reason he wasn't on 2024, more so than what people will talk about with, toting guns and the 25 game suspension, I think it was his shoulder.
Yeah.
Right. I think that was a big issue with him not getting on in 2024. So I'll say this, and you have to preface it by saying injuries, no off the court things. I think yes, without question. He's one of the best point guards in the league. He is faster than just about anybody in the world. Like, imagine his first step against some of those backcourt guys trying to play defense from Serbia. He would blow directly past them. They'd have no chance.
Yeah.
Bogdan Bogdanovic trying to cover him out there on the perimeter would be an absolute bloodbath. So he meets the criteria as a basketball player. And here's the other thing that I think does help him. And I know I'm getting into the politics, but Nike athlete.
Yeah.
One of the top selling Nike shoes. He has that in his bag. The political part of this thing is very, very massive. Ask Jaylen Brown about it. Okay. He's a Nike athlete. USA and Nike go hand in hand. I think yes, but obviously it depends on health and anything off the court, which can I be honest about that? I'm kind of getting annoyed with that being in every single breath with Ja Morant, but that is also the risk he took by doing what he did.
Yeah, it is, but I do think it's at some point it's like, come on, man. Like it was 2 years ago. It's time to move on. Right?
It feels like people have this expectation that he's going to misstep off the floor, and it's like my expectation is that he won't.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like I'm the other way.
Yeah.
But every freaking thing that's written about him with 2028 and the U.S. men's national team and what he's going to be going forward, they always talk about.
Yeah.
The guns and everything else. Can he stay clean? Can he? It's like, I don't know. Everything he's shown us is a guy that has learned from his misgivings.
I think if we believe to be true if what happens that we believe to be true, that he's going to keep his nose clean, he's going to be fine out there on the floor. Health considered, everything. There's no doubt in my mind Ja Morant would be an unbelievable addition to that team, because if you look at the roster that they had this year, man, Steph obviously did his thing, but the role in which they had him playing for the first, throughout the exhibitions and the first, knockout phases and all that kind of stuff, it didn't seem like it worked really that well for Steph, and Steph was being used as kind of a corner spot up shooter, kind of a deal. And they had guys like Drew Holiday, didn't use Tyrese Halliburton the entire time. Just that point guard position, I think, specifically struggled for the United States men's team this year, or this Olympics. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like with a guy like Ja Morant, who I think in the next 4 years will establish himself as one of the best, as top 3 point guard in the whole NBA.
I'll say this: if Ja Morant was the lead point guard for the USA men's national team in 2028 and Steve Kerr's the head coach, I would not trust that. I can say that. I wouldn't trust Steve Kerr to run that team the right way. But if what's being reported is going to happen, where Steve Kerr steps down, retires as a USA men's basketball coach, and it's Eric Spoelstra, I would trust that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Like Ja Morant is one of the lead guards, on ball a lot, with maybe Tyrese Halliburton, Jalen Brunson, and then having Eric Spoelstra run the whole thing. I think that they would still be very, very hard to beat.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it quite a few times. I think Steve Kerr's a fraud, but it is a thankless position to coach the United States men's team, because what you lose, if you don't beat every team by 40, then you suck, right? Like, you're terrible. But if you lose, if you just so happen to lose, oh my God, it's like you'll never hear the end of it.
I think for Steve Kerr, retire now, because when we do the documentary and talk about 2024 Paris Olympics and the gold medal, we will forget about all the nonsense he did with the rotations, and we'll just see Steve Kerr, gold medal winner. And I think that's good for him.
That's okay.
You did what you set out to do.
Yeah.
Hand it off to somebody else who's better than you, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And I guess for me, I was never judging Steve Kerr on, okay, you have to beat every team by 40. I was judging Steve Kerr on situational substitutions and what he was doing with the team. And the fact that it took till the semifinal, fourth quarter, into the final to realize that LeBron, Steph, and KD need to be on the floor together.
Yeah.
Like that tells me that maybe this job got the best of you. The politics, the outside talk got the best of you. It's so obvious to me, the decision he needed to make, and he needed to make it earlier. You needed to have LeBron, KD, and Steph on the floor at the same time. And that seems like such a damn obvious switch up to make. And he didn't do it until the fourth quarter of the semifinal game.
Yeah.
That's when I judge him off of.